Hola chicos, soy profesor Puran. Bueno, in this video, I am going to show you, or I'm going to actually talk about the CSEC syllabus. I got a question from a student telling me that they don't really understand the CSEC syllabus. What is the CSEC syllabus about? There is a couple of topics. What do we study? How, and I just decided to do this video for the students that are about to study CSEC Spanish, for you to have an understanding of what the syllabus is about and how you should prepare rather for this exam. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a little bit about the modern studies syllabus. So the modern studies syllabus is basically about Spanish, French, and now Portuguese. In some countries, they write Portuguese. As you can see, this is the updated syllabus effective for examinations from May, June 2007. Okay, so the modern studies syllabus, the general objectives for all languages would be to understand and respond appropriately to spoken French, Portuguese, and Spanish, of course, from a variety of sources, communicate orally in the language, elicit and provide opinions and information, express ideas and emotions, read and understand material written in the languages, communicate appropriately, and of course in writing as well, develop insight into the culture of the language, well, the different communities. So let's go on. These are the specific, but it's really more than that. So the format of the exam, this may be useful for some students who may not understand the format of the exam. So the format of the exam, you have paper 1, 2, and 3. Paper 1 is a 60-item multiple choice test, which is in 2 parts. Item 1 to 30 comprise of the listening comprehension. You have the multiple choice questions in front of you. It's usually photos based on this document. It's usually some photos. Teacher would read something, you select the answer that corresponds. You would hear a statement or a question, you select the answer that corresponds. Then they have 2 announcements, and then there's a passage. From 31 to 60, it's reading comprehension. It's usually based on grammar, words in context, like vocabulary that you would choose. There's 2 passages, like closed passages, where you have to select the answers that will make sense, one grammatically, and the other one could be thematically or based on content. And you have more or less reading comprehension, little passages, or maybe a little advertisement, something of the sort. So that's part A and that's part B. Well, they explain everything here for you. So maybe you can pause and read. Paper 2 consists of 4 sections. In section 1, you are given 10 situations. So this is what we call communicative situations, and you have to be able to respond satisfying the function that they are looking for. Section 2 talks about an informal letter, and notice it's informal, between 130 to 150 words. Section 3 is a contextual dialogue. So it's a dialogue within a context. They give you context cues, and you have to be able to respond to the situations, of course, paying attention to the cues within the word limit 80 to 100 words. Section 4 is a reading comprehension passage. The questions are in English and you respond in English. Paper 3 is the oral, and that was the oral paper, the oral examination. And usually that's 3 sections, as you can see here. The first is where the candidate, which is you, orally respond to 5 situations. It's like 5 situations. It's written in English, but you respond in Spanish. Section 2, you have to read a passage. Usually the passage is about 125 to 130 words. And then section 3, you have to answer questions based on 4 topics. So that is it for paper 1, 2, and 3. Now let's get down to what exactly you have to study. Apart from the sound system, which you're supposed to know from the Forms 1 level, you have to be able to read, listen, speak, and write surrounding these topics here, these 6 topics, sorry. Home and family, school and career, sports and recreation, daily routines, shopping, and travel. Now, each of these topics are, to me, subjective because different teachers look at different aspects. I go in detail because I believe at this level, if you want to learn a language, you have to learn the language, or at least this is my philosophy. You learn the language, not just as a subject, but I teach a language as a foreign language. I teach it as a second language, so that once you have attained that grade 1, you are competent. You are able to speak, you're able to write, you're able to respond, listen, etc., and read, of course, in the language. And most of the times, the students that studies Spanish at the CSEC level, they move on to CAPE, so they have a great foundation. So I get into the topic in detail. I look at a lot of different things. Two additional topics that I recommend to my students that I discuss in class would be the environment and health. Why? Because even though it's not stated here, CXC has repeatedly brought questions involving health issues as well as involving environmental problems. Even for their listening, there are situations that they will bring about tempestad, etc., from the samples of what is given. So it is important that we discuss those two topics as well. So this is the thematic part of it. So the syllabus for me, it is broken up. It consists of two parts, which is the thematic part and the grammatical part. At least that's how I look at it. So in the first part, which is the thematic part, it's 8 topics that I cover. Just to reiterate, because this appeared here, this is the mark location and the percentage. A lot of times students ask, well, how much percent is paper 1, 2, and 3? Yes, the paper 1, 2, and 3 are broken up into different percentages, but you have to look at where these marks fall on which skill. It's receptive and productive. So receptive is listening and reading, and productive is speaking and writing. So paper 1, section 1 and 2. So we have 30 and 30, which is 60 marks. It weighs 25% of your grade. Paper 2, we have sections 1 to 4, and then we have 20 for section 4, 20 for section 3, but 30 for section 1 and 2, and that it's 100 marks, but it's equal to 42% out of the entire grade, or the entire thing. And paper 3, we have sections 1, 2, and 3, which is all about speaking. So, sorry, and 20%, 20 marks for reading. No, that's listening, sorry. Listening, my apologies. Listening for 20%. And then we have speaking, 25 by 25 by 10. We have to do some reading. So I'm not too sure if the reading, if that 10% supposed to be under reading. I'm not sure. I'm reading it as it is. But all in all, it would this paper with 33%, then that is a total of 100%. So really and truly, the marks are out of 200, as you see, 240, and then you're going to find the percent. Well, they should find the individual percent and put it together. At least that's what I am assuming. Okay, guys, so for Spanish, because that's our focus here, we are supposed to look at the present simple, or the simple present tense, that is. We have to look at the continuous or the progressive tense. So an example, the present tense is vivo, compro. Continuous tense, estoy comiendo, estoy comprando. We have the present perfect, he hecho. We have the preterite tense, cumpre. We have the future tense, tendré. We have the imperfect tense, hablaba. We have the pluperfect, which is había hecho. We have the past continuous tense, estaba comiendo. We have the conditional tense, compraría. And then we have the indicative. So the indicative is the present tense, the past tense, the future tense, all of these things. Then we have the imperative, which is the command form. We have the usted, which is the formal. We have the informal. The infinitive, we learn about the infinitive and when to use the infinitive and which verbs use the infinitive. We have the present subjunctive and the past subjunctive, also called the imperfect subjunctive. So this is a grammatical category. Now, if you look at this, one thing I noticed is that in the old syllabus, you see how they have for recognition only. I don't want to be mistaken, but I remember seeing in the syllabus that the imperfect subjunctive had that asterisk. Um, and now I am noticing that it's no longer there. So whereas in French for past historic, it's for recognition only. Now everything in Spanish, you have to know, right? So you're seeing there's no asterisk. Good. So that is it basically for the Spanish syllabus. Now, just to move on really quickly, I want to just point out, this is really important here. Sometimes students don't understand this. This part of the syllabus actually gives us a lot of information, especially for the section 1 of the paper 2, where you have the functions and relations, functions and notions. Um, the functions and notions are basically the communicative functions that we have to carry out based on a communicative situation. For example, if they say it's your brother's birthday, what do you write in a postcard that you give to him? Of course, you would look for the one with probably birthday wishes, as you're saying, number 1.7, and we would say Feliz cumpleaños. So these are very important. This list is very important. So get yourself the syllabus and look for the Spanish, look at the functions, look at the notions and take it down. Be mindful of these things. Now, of course, this is just a guide because you have to develop your vocabulary and whatnot. So guys, this is basically it for the functions and the notions. CXC also has a list of Caribbean words in case if you want to express something that you cannot find in our dictionary. This is actually really nice. So you would see different ways of saying things here, especially, well, like the flora and fauna, things that we see on or that we eat or consume on a daily basis. Right, you're seeing a lot of stuff here, really nice stuff. Okay. Country and inhabitants, so Caribbean people, very important. This is a word that CXC recognizes, right? And then each, well, categories. And then we have culture, technology, and electronics, because now we have this whole new world, right? So these are some updated vocabulary that you could look at. And of course, it's available in French and Portuguese for those who study other languages. So guys, this is it for the syllabus. Of course, there's samples, mark scheme. However, this they give here is the Portuguese one, but it is the Spanish and the French would be similar. If you also go down, you could also see that there is a mark scheme. So they actually are showing you how stuff is being marked, right? So it starts basically here, paper 2. All right, you would see how section 1 is marked. So pay attention. This is really important. This especially here is really important. If you all need me to explain this in another video, comment below and I will do so. So guys, if you have any questions concerning the CSEC syllabus, please, you can message me directly. You could follow my page on WhatsApp at Professor Puran. You could ask questions there, or you could comment here and ask questions. Okay, guys, so one of the things I want to just show you all, and this is the new textbook. It's a textbook written by myself. Now, no, it was not approved by CXC, but it follows, or it is aligned with the syllabus that I just explained to you. So you would see it's based on, we have the contenido and we have gramática, and the contenido is the thematic part of it. So we have la familia, mi casa, la rutina diaria, los deportes y el ocio, la escuela y la carrera, ir de compras, de viaje, la salud, el medio ambiente. So in each chapter, it goes in depth with content and grammar. It starts at a very basic level and then it goes up to an advanced level. So the vocabulary goes hand in hand with the topic and the grammar, and then the grammar, it increases in difficulty. So it starts with very basic revision stuff or things that you're supposed to know from Forms 1 come up, and then it goes straight down to the last chapter, which is El Medio Ambiente, deals with the past subjunctive. Chapter 10 or this chapter is the highlights of the text because it gives you examples of the for directed situations, examples of letters, dialogues, reading comprehension passages, oral examination, listening exam. Throughout the entire book, you will find a lot of exercises, original exercises. Nothing was taken from any past papers. You would find letter format, punctuation marks, interjections, a lot of idioms to use in your essays. There's a section on Spanish culture. There's also a pronunciation guide, a list of useful vocabulary. There's an answer key to all or the majority of the exercises in the textbook. Now, what I mean by the majority is because some activities require the teacher intervention to tell you, well, if your answer is correct. And for all the listening activity, there's a teacher script. So in case if you don't have a teacher to assist you, or you want to do something without a teacher there, you can ask someone to read it out for you, or you can read it and I guess record yourself and then play it and then do the exam. So guys, if you are interested in a copy of this text, it's not in bookstores just yet. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Professor Puran, and you can message me there and we can arrange. But I want you to focus on what you need for the exam, and this book covers it. It covers all the vocabulary. It covers an array of vocabulary, grammar exercises. It deals with papers 1, 2, and 3, right? And it offers step-by-step. It offers a step-by-step guide rather to writing the letter and of course completing the dialogue. Right, guys, so that's it in this video. I will see you in the next video where I'll be discussing past papers again. If you have any questions, you need any sort of clarification, you want a particular topic explained, feel free to let me know and I'll be happy to do that. So guys, please like, share, comment, and I'll see you all soon. Ciao, adios.